If you have merchandise that is only available to the registrants of your race, such as $2 for bib customization, or $5 to ship their race packet to their house, then you can use RunSignUp's add-ons feature to set up these registrant-specific offers. Please note that add-ons are only available to registrants of your race. People who are not registered for any of your events will not be able to purchase these add-ons. To easily jump to this feature's dashboard setup page, simply begin by typing AddOn into the search bar of the dashboard, and after you have typed in at least 3 letters, search results will begin to show below the box. Select registration add-ons from those listed below, and you will be brought directly to the setup page for add-ons. You can also find this feature manually by going to the Race tab of the dashboard, clicking on the subheading for Giveaways/Add-ons, and then selecting Registration Add-ons. Add-ons can be purchased by registrants during or after the registration process. By default, add-ons will be available during the registration process. However, you will need to enable AddOn Management in order to let registrants purchase add-ons after registration. This can be done at the bottom of the setup page by clicking on the Participant Management link and allowing AddOn Management. More details on this option are found in the upcoming section for Enabling AddOn Management. Also, after your add-ons have been saved, then you will want to click on View Race and test out the sign-up process to make sure that you have set up your add-ons in the way that you had intended. This tutorial will cover should I set up a store, create a giveaway, or make an add-on, creating add-ons, advanced add-on options, rearranging and/or removing add-ons, enabling AddOn Management, and viewing and managing participant add-ons. Should I set up a store, create a giveaway, or make an add-on? RunSignUp has a few options for handling your race merchandise. This includes stores, giveaways, and add-ons. While you will want to also review how to set up the giveaway and how to set up a store in order to see which option or options best suit your race's needs, giveaways are best to be used when you have an item that is being offered to registrants for free when they sign up for your race. Add-ons are typically additional items that registrants can purchase with their registration, and store items are your best option to use when you have items that are available to both registrants and the public. Creating add-ons. If you go to the Race tab, select Giveaways and Add-ons, and then Registration Add-ons, then you will be given the fields to create your first add-on. If you already have an add-on created, then you can click on the button for New Add-on, and the add-on creation fields will be opened up for you for this new add-on. In the add-on information section, you will first want to fill out the field for Add-on Text. This text can be used to indicate what the add-on item is. Please note that this text should be a general label of the item, such as jacket or lanyard. If you have different options for this add-on, such as size, color, or quantity, then they can be entered in later. In other words, do not create items called Jacket Small, Jacket Medium, and Jacket Large. Instead, simply create an item called Jacket, and you can create the size options as will be explained later. Next, in the add-on description box, you have the option to enter in more information about this add-on if you would like. If you have any specific details about this add-on, then you can enter it here, and this description will be displayed to the registrant when they are on the add-on selection page. The add-on price is the amount participants will be charged for one of these add-ons. This number will usually be a positive dollar amount, however, you do have the option to set an add-on price as a negative number in order to give anyone who selects this add-on a discount on their total fee. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will set the add-on price as a positive number in order to create an add-on that registrants will need to pay for. After setting the add-on price, you can also add tax if you would like. In order to do this, simply click on Add Tax and enter in the tax percentage. The Add Tax box will show you the current add-on price that you will be adding tax to, and when you click on Add Tax, this percentage will be added to the add-on price. For instance, if you had a $10 add-on price, and you set the tax percentage to 7%, then by clicking Add Tax, this would cause the add-on price to change from $10 to $10.70, because 7% of $10 is 70 cents. You can upload an image of your add-on to display to registrants by clicking on the Choose File button, and selecting the file from your computer. Once these fields are filled out as you would like, then you can click on Save Add-ons, and your add-ons will be saved. You can also further customize your add-on by following the steps in the next section of this tutorial for advanced add-on options. Advanced add-on options. After you have created an add-on, as is explained in the previous section for creating add-ons, then you can view and edit more add-on customization settings by going to the Advanced Options section and clicking on the plus sign. In the Advanced Options section, you can enter in a strike-through price for your add-on if necessary. The strike-through price is typically used to let your registrants know that the regular price of the add-on has been discounted. For instance, the current price of this jacket is $10.70. But if it used to be $18, then you can enter that price into the strike-through price field, and this is how the strike-through pricing will appear on the race page. Next, you'll be given the fields for the minimum quantity per transaction and the maximum quantity per transaction. By default, the minimum quantity per transaction is set to 0. This is so registrants will have the option to not select an add-on. However, if you would like to require that all transactions include this add-on, then you can enter in the quantity required per transaction by making the minimum quantity per transaction a number greater than 0. It is important to note that if the minimum quantity per transaction is set to 1 or greater, then every transaction will be required to purchase at least the minimum amount of this add-on before they can continue on with registration. Do not set this field above 0 unless the purchase of this add-on is mandatory. The maximum quantity per transaction field will allow you to limit the amount of this add-on that can be purchased in a single transaction. Please note that this is the number for the entire transaction and not per registrant on the transaction. If you set the maximum quantity per transaction as 1, then even if a transaction has 5 registrants on it, for instance if a family was signing up together, then the maximum amount of this add-on that they could purchase for the entire family would only be 1. If you do not need for there to be a limit on the maximum number of add-ons that can be purchased on a single transaction, then you can clear out this field and save it as blank. With the field for Ask Per Registrant selected, then each registrant will be asked whether or not they would like to purchase this add-on. For instance, if there were 5 people on the transaction, then they would each see individual sections for this add-on. On the other hand, if you unselect the field for Ask Per Registrant, then this will only ask about the add-on once for the entire transaction. For instance, if 5 registrants were signing up on one transaction, then they would be asked about this add-on as a group instead of individually. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will leave this checkbox selected in order to ask each registrant about the add-on. With this Ask Per Registrant box selected, then you will also be given the fields for minimum quantity per registrant and maximum quantity per registrant. By default, the minimum quantity per registrant is set to 0. This is to allow all registrants to have the option to continue on with registration without purchasing this add-on. If you would like to require that all registrants purchase this add-on, then you can enter in the quantity required per registrant by making the minimum quantity per registrant greater than 0. It is very important to note that if the minimum quantity per registrant is set to 1 or greater, then every single registrant on a transaction will be required to purchase at least the minimum amount of this add-on before they can continue on with their registration. This would mean that if you set the minimum quantity per registrant as 1, then if 5 people were registering for your race, whether separately or on the same transaction, then all 5 of those people would have to purchase at least 1 of this add-on. Do not set this field above 0 unless the purchase of this add-on is mandatory per registrant. The field for maximum quantity per registrant lets you limit the amount of this add-on that can be purchased by a single registrant. Please note that depending on your race setup, users may be able to register for multiple events on a single transaction. This setting for maximum quantity per registrant will limit the number of add-ons that a single user can purchase, regardless of how many events they are signing up for. For instance, if your maximum quantity per registrant was set to 1, and a single registrant signed themselves up for both your 5K event and your 10K event, then they would only be able to purchase one add-on of this type, even though they have signed themselves up for 2 events. If you do not need for there to be a limit on the maximum number of add-ons that can be purchased by a single registrant, then you can clear out this field and save it as blank. By default, the option to ask each registrant if they would like to purchase an add-on is only asked once, even if a user is registering for multiple events in one transaction. To maintain this default setting, then leave the box for Ask per Registrant per event as unchecked. However, if you would like for each registrant to be asked about the add-on for each event that they sign up for, then you can select the field for Ask per Registrant per event. This means that if a single registrant signed themselves up for both your 5K event and your 10K event, then they would be asked about the same add-on twice, once for each event. With the option for Ask per Registrant per event selected, you will also be able to set the fields for minimum quantity per registrant per event and maximum quantity per registrant per event. By default, the minimum quantity per registrant per event is set to 0. This is to allow all registrants to continue on with the registration process without purchasing this add-on. However, if you would like to require that all registrants on this transaction purchase at least the minimum amount of this add-on for each of the events that they are registering for, then you can enter in the quantity required per registrant per event by making the minimum quantity per registrant per event greater than 0. It is very important to note that if the minimum quantity per registrant per event is set to 1 or greater, then every single registrant on this transaction will be required to purchase at least the minimum amount of this add-on for every single event that they have signed up for before they can continue on with registration. This would mean that if you set the minimum quantity per registrant per event to 1, then if a single registrant signed themselves up for both your 5K event and your 10K event, then that one registrant would need to purchase at least 2 of these add-ons before they could continue on with registration. Do not set this field above 0 unless the purchase of this add-on is mandatory per registrant per event. The maximum quantity per registrant per event lets you limit the amount of this add-on that can be purchased by a single registrant per event. For instance, if the maximum quantity per registrant per event was set at 2, then if a single registrant signed themselves up for both your 5K event and your 10K event, then they would be able to purchase this maximum for each event that they are registering for. In this case, they would be able to purchase a maximum of 4 of this add-on because they are registered for 2 events, both of which offer a maximum quantity of 2 for the add-on. If you do not need for there to be a limit on the maximum number of add-ons that can be purchased per registrant per event, then you can clear out this field and save it as blank. If you would like to set an inventory for the overall amount of this add-on available, then you can do so in the field for Total Quantity Available. It is very important to note that if you set this number, then the add-on will no longer be available once this add-on's total quantity purchased has reached this number. It is also very important to note that if you have set any of the minimum quantity fields discussed previously to a number that is equal to or greater than 1, then participants will not be able to register for your race once the add-on sells out of the total quantity available. This is because your settings will be requiring them to purchase an add-on in order to register, but your settings will also be making it so that there are no add-ons available to purchase. Therefore, they cannot register. Next, you can set any add-on availability dates if necessary. If you leave the available starting date blank, then the add-on will be available for purchase immediately. If you set the available starting date to a date in the future, then this add-on will not be available for purchase until after the date entered here arrives. If you leave the available until date blank, then this add-on will be available for purchase indefinitely once it becomes available. If you set the available until date to a date in the future, then this add-on will not be available for purchase after the date entered here has passed. Please note that if you set the available until date to today's date, then this add-on will still be available until the end of the day. If you would like to expire an add-on immediately, then you can set the available until date to a date in the past. If your add-on has various options such as size, color, features, etc., then you can check off the box under Require Option Selection in order to require the registrant to select an option. Once selected, this will open up the fields for option setup. Click on Add Option in order to create as many option fields as you need. Within the Option Setup table, use the Option column to indicate all of the options that are available for that add-on. If each individual option has its own specific quantity available, then you can enter this amount into the corresponding quantity available field. It is very important to note that the sum of the quantity available fields for all of your options must not exceed the total quantity available if you have this set. If you are setting the quantity available by option type, then it is recommended that you leave the total quantity available field as blank. In the column for price, if different, you can enter in a price for this item if it is not the same as the standard add-on price, which was set previously. Please note that you should only fill in this field for an option if the price of that option is not the same as the add-on price. If the add-on price is the same as the price of this option, then leave the field for price if different as blank for this option. You can use the arrows for up and down to rearrange the option order, and if you would like to delete an add-on option, then you can click on the X for that option. Next, you will find the section for event-specific add-ons. By default, this setting is not enabled and left unselected. By leaving this setting unselected, you allow for the add-on to be purchased by registrants of any of the events in your race. If you would like to only allow this add-on for specific events, then you can select the checkbox to indicate this restriction, and then select which event or events should be offered the ability to purchase an add-on. If most of your events will be eligible for purchasing this add-on, then you can click on Select All Events, and then deselect any of the events that should be excluded from the ability to purchase this add-on. For the purpose of this tutorial, we will leave this field in the default position of unselected in order to create an add-on which is available to all registrants of the race. Next, you will find the Custom Fields section. Custom fields are a way to collect additional information from the participant about this add-on, and you can create as many custom fields as you would like by clicking on Add Field. For example, if your add-on is a personalized medal, which has the name of the participant printed on the front, and includes the number of years that they have participated in your event, then you can collect this information with custom fields. In the Field Name column, enter in any of the information that you need to collect with this add-on, such as name, and number of years you have participated in this event. In the Field Description column, you can give more information on each custom field if necessary. For instance, you can let them know that this information will be printed on the front of their personalized medal. The Field Validation column can be set to ensure that the information entered into each field is being validated as either a positive whole number, a decimal number, or an email address. However, if no validation is necessary, then you can leave it set as no validation. If this custom field is required to be filled out by the purchaser of the add-on, then you can mark it as required, or if the field is optional, then you can leave the box for required as unselected. If necessary, you can use the up and down arrows to rearrange the custom field order, and if you would like to delete a custom field, then you can click on the X for that custom field. If you have an external website which has more information on this add-on, then you can enter that URL into the field for More Information URL. Once saved, this will create a button link for more information, which will be shown with your add-on. Please note that this More Information link will open up in a new tab so that the registrant does not have to leave the registration process in order to view more information. If you would like for the More Information button to say something other than More Information, then you can enter this into the More Information link text field, and once you save the changes, the link text will be updated. The final option in the Advanced Options section is to only allow if the waiver is signed. If you select this checkbox, then only participants who have signed their waiver will be able to purchase this add-on. For example, you can create an add-on to ship a registration packet, but prohibit those who haven't signed their waiver yet from selecting this option. Once you are finished editing all of these advanced features, be sure to click on Save Add-ons, and the add-ons will be saved. After saving any changes in this section, you should click on View Race, enter the sign-up process, and test out the add-on step of registration to make sure that it is working in the way you had intended. Rearranging and/or removing add-ons. If you have multiple add-ons created for your race, then you can change the order in which they are displayed on your registration page by using the up and down arrows to the right of each add-on. An add-on at the top of the list will appear first, an add-on that is listed second will appear second, and so on and so forth. It is very important to note that while you do have the option to delete add-ons, if a registrant has already purchased that add-on, then it is recommended that you set the add-on as expired rather than deleting it. You can expire an add-on by setting the available until date to yesterday, or any date in the past, and while this will hide the add-on from your registrants, you will still be able to view your setup of the add-on within your dashboard. This will allow you to have a record of the add-on setup that was purchased, without having the add-on available for purchase anymore. Of course, if you do want to delete any unwanted add-on setups from your race, then you can click on the X found between the arrangement arrows. Once you are finished editing your add-on section, be sure to click on Save Add-ons, and the add-ons will be saved. Enabling Add-on Management. If you would like to give your registrants the ability to purchase more add-ons and edit their current add-ons after registration, then you can do so by searching for Add-on in the race dashboard and selecting Participant Management, AddOn Management. You can also find this page manually by going to the Participants tab, opening up Participant Management, and then clicking on AddOn Management. Here you can click Yes and allow Add-on Management. In the Overall Settings section, you can set the cutoff date for Add-on Management if necessary, and please note that this cutoff date will cut off Add-on Management at 11:59 p.m. on that date. The Allow Add-on Removal section will allow participants to remove add-ons which have already been purchased. Please note that even with the option for Allow Add-on Removal selected, refunds will not automatically be issued for add-ons that are removed by the registrant. You, as the race director, will need to refund them separately, as is explained in how to issue a refund. If a registrant removes a previously purchased add-on, and simultaneously purchases another add-on on the same transaction, then the amount that they paid for the removed add-on will be credited towards the price of the new add-on. If you would like to prevent registrants from removing previously purchased add-ons, then you can do so by unselecting this option. However, for the purpose of this tutorial, we will leave it in the default position of selected in order to allow for add-on removal. In the Event Settings section, you can decide whether you would like to use the overall settings for each event, which will use these overall settings above for the corresponding events, or you can use Custom Event Settings, which will override the overall settings for that particular event. Likewise, in the section for Add-on Settings, you can decide whether you would like to use the overall settings for each add-on, or you can use Custom Add-on Settings, which will override the overall settings for that particular add-on. Once you are finished with your add-on management settings, click on Save Settings, and you will receive confirmation that your changes have been saved. Please note that after enabling add-on management, if you need to inform your participants on how to manage their add-ons, then you can refer them to the tutorial for How to Manage Your Add-ons. Viewing and managing participant add-ons. As the race director, you have the ability to view add-on reports and manage your participants' add-ons. For more information on viewing overall add-on reports, please refer to How to View Add-on Reports. For more information on viewing and editing a participant's add-ons, please refer to How to View and Edit a participant's add-ons. A written instruction manual is also available for this topic and can be viewed in the How To section of RunSignUp.